His Eminence Archiepiscopos Dimitrios, Assistant Secretary of Defense Zachary Limnios, designated guests, and fellow heroes. I would like to thank the Washington Oshie Foundation, Mike Manatos, for his true honor recognition, and stand before you today represent of my fellow World War II veterans who together fought for the freedom and liberty. May 20th, 1941, the Germans, they come, invaded Crete. I remember the day. It was warm, a day with strong south winds. I was 18 years old. I was around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning when we hear the bombing Suda Bay with outside, and could see the bombs flying over us in the sky out. The village time quite low. On the radio we heard the Germans, they were dropping paratroopers on Crete. Nobody had an idea she was coming, and we all centrally had no idea what going to happen. The people in our village all were sacked. The Germans, they dropped a lot of bombs in my village. I was lucky on that time because I was 20 feet from the first bomb they dropped in Vrises, and I survived. The resistance by the Cretan people were known. The Cretans fought all on his with a little ammunition, and even they fight with the tools and stones and wood on that time, because on the World War II, all the guns they collected by the dictatorship from 1938 to 1936 to 1940, and even the shotguns, they were sealed at the police stations. We have no guns. The English officer who write in his memories, he says, I did two mistakes. First, I left the airport of Malmö, and the second, I didn't give guns to the people. The Germans occupied Crete, and everything changed. Remember, the movement was in support by the British and became of the fame inspiration for the Cretans. The first resistance meeting was organized in our house in 1941. At our house in the village, Vrises, discussed the organization, and they make the first group of the resistance. After that, they left and they went to another area with Aleko English and one gentleman Polendas, a lawyer, which they create a meeting between Cairo and Crete. My involvement in resistance, along with my brother George, was to handle correspondence from the village Brosnero to the distribution center at the city Chania, and transfer my correspondence from there back to the village of Brosnero. The correspondence would arrive from Cairo via submarines. Driving the correspondence back and forth had become game between life and death, as the Germans were aware to the resistance movement in Crete. they were checking every load and go in and out to the city. We had diverse every possible way to hide the information. With a trucking business, we used to do the transfer the numbers of olive oil cans, containers to from the city to Hania, and safely transported resistance correspondence with had cut open a button of the 5-gallon can, and we put all the things inside. Later, the mails start to get bigger and bigger, so we hide it under. In my truck, we have fixed air filter, and we put them in, or we open the lights in the front, or open the panels of the side of the doors, and we put them in. But after that, they bring some more. They bring the correspondence plus the leaflets for the to stop the war. And the Germans, they get really mad on that. And one day they start to stop that thing, and they make a control station before the Hania. And they asked, that day, we were very lucky because I had a bag with money, gold pounds, pistols, and some other things in a small package. When the day of that one, I was working for the Germans to transport some lambs for their own use. My brother got the bags with all these things, and I asked him, where are you going to put it? He said, I'm going to put a sergeant German to sit on it. Well, I was really upset on that day, and I said, no, don't do that. Put him some other place. So 5 minutes later, I asked him again. He said, I put in a sack of harupia, which that means Johann Brothers thing. I said, don't do anything, just give it to me, and I put them somewhere. I had the little box in the back of the truck. I put them in. When we stopped by the German officer, SS, the German sergeant told the officer, this truck working for the Germans. He almost killed him. And after that, they put the sacks, empty it, they check the truck, they open the hood, they take the seat and all the things. And finally, they didn't find nothing. The same day, another group from the other side of the island, they transport in Hania the same things, and they got him in a Kakopetro, which they kill him in a spot. 3 guys, and the memoriam statue is there. I don't want to say too much because I'm not so good in English, and because I came a little too late. So the correspondence was delivered with a truck in Hania, and my cousin's garage, which repairs German trucks. And all the time, from 1941 to 1945, was the exchange, all those things, in the front of their eyes to the Germans. The people, they came in a contract to the Hania, and were the initiators of the resistance, and we was the part of the island of Crete. In 1945, I volunteered to the Greek army, and I was in the army before the Germans, they left. I have the opportunity to drive for an English colonel, which was responsible for dispatch all the Germans from the island of Crete. I'm honored that Oshi Foundation remember and commemorate this important event to our history the Greeks fight all the time like the Greeks. And then Churchill said that. The year celebrate my 89th birthday. I'm proud of the achievement during the war in my life here in the United States. I'm proud of my daughter Diane, her husband Jeff, the two children Victoria and Antonius, my son Marco, and his wife Eleni, who is, as many of you know, is a current ambassador to Hungary. And their children, Antonio and Evangelos, and of course, my beautiful wife, who years together, 58 years celebration for our wedding. I got a few words and I get done. Don't worry about it. So, come on. Look like, come on. It was my anniversary. My thanks to my Ambassador Angelo Tsakopoulos for being here today and all their family and friends. I'm truly honored and thank you very much for listening to me, even if you don't understand my English.